Let's start recording. Let's start. First problem. Considering industry with market demand. Okay, let's write down this. 1 plus 2. Market demand 1 minus P. The industry hosts a monopoly with a cost function Q over 6. Costs of monopoly, the function of Q is Q over 6. Moreover, there are many competitive firms, each with a cost function like this. So this is for monopoly. And the cost function of one competitive firm is Q over 3 plus Q squared over 2. This is for competitive firm. Suppose we have n competitive firms greater or equal than 0, who can enter the market at cost fee greater than 0. So this is entry fee for each firm. Okay. Point A. Suppose n number of competitive firms greater or equal than 0, and these firms, they operate on the market. So they are in the market. They paid before this entry cost. Find market supply and residual demand function. So market supply, first of all. Okay, Q, S, E for competitive firms. So how to find market supply of firms? We need to find individual supply of each competitive firm. So we write down profit maximization program for one competitive firm. Total revenue minus total cost. Competitive firm is price taker. So here price constant multiplied by quantity. This is total revenue minus costs. Costs Q over 3 plus Q squared over 2. And this we should maximize by choosing quantity greater or equal than 0. So, okay, first order condition. First order condition, we need to find critical points such that they will give us maximum or minimum. We don't know. Then we need to check. So, first derivative is price minus 1 over 3 minus Q. And this should be equal to 0 if we produce, if our optimal quantity bigger than 0. So, okay, from here we find that our quantity will be equal to price minus 1/3. And it is bigger than 0 only if price bigger than 1/3. Yes, I checked it. So then second order condition. We need to understand that we found maximum profit, not minimum profit. So second derivative, or you should write that this profit is quadratic function with a graph parabola branches down. It's also checking second order condition. But we write down second derivative minus 1, and for maximum it should be less or equal than 0. So here we have less than 0. So okay, we found maximum. Good. So now we're also we can check shutdown condition. Shutdown, you know, yes, for competitive firms, price should be greater or equal than minimum of average variable cost. Yes, here we have only variable costs. Yes, in our cost function, only variable costs. So average variable costs will be variable costs over Q. This is 1/3 plus Q over 2. And we work You see, we work with prices bigger than 1/3, and average variable costs, they are bigger than 1/3 for each quantity. It's bigger than 1/3 for each quantity. So, okay, we checked. So now we're ready to write down individual supply of one competitive firm. This should be price minus 1/3 if price greater, okay, let's write down, or equal than 1/3. And we do not supply if price less than 1/3, otherwise. So how to find market supply? All competitive firms supplies the same, all competitive firms, they have the same cost function. That's why they will supply together and multiplied by the individual supply function of one competitive firm. And this will be n price minus 1/3 if price greater than 1/3 and 0 otherwise. Guys, please ask questions if something you do not understand. Okay, so then we need to find residual demand. What is it? Residual demand, this is the demand for monopoly. So we have total demand, and part of this demand belongs to competitive firms. So the last part, the residual part, belongs to monopoly, and monopoly works only with residual demand in the market. Residual demand. This is total demand minus market supply of competitive firms. So we will write demand function was 1 minus P. Yes, supply, total supply we know. So it will be okay. If we have low prices, if price less than 1/3, our market supply equals to 0. So monopoly works with all demand for low prices. So this will be 1 minus price minus 0. Then we have the difference. Demand 1 minus price minus n multiplied by price minus 1/3. Okay, we can write this. This is equal to 1 plus n over 3 minus n plus 1 multiplied by price. And this is true only for prices belongs from 1/3 to, we need to find when this residual demand greater or equal than 0. So we need to check it when this is greater or equal than 0. So let's do it. This will be 1 plus n over 3 greater or equal than n plus 1. So n plus 1 price. So price should be less or equal than 3 plus n over 3 n plus 1. So this is the last price for which residual demand looks like this. 3 plus n over 3 n plus 1. Then, and if prices are very high, what we have? We will not have demand. Yes. So nobody will demand in the market if prices are super high. So residual demand will be equal to 0. Okay, guys, please, any questions about residual demand?
Can I ask in Russian?
Yeah, please.
Я вот не совсем понимаю, почему у нас ограничения при P, принадлежащем от 1/3. Разве тут не должно быть, что просто больше, чем 1/3, больше или равно 1/3? Не должно получиться здесь?
Ну, смотрите, у нас же функция предложения разная, да, там, если цена меньше 1/3, да, мы предлагаем 0. Если цена больше 1/3, мы предлагаем вот столько, да, совершенно конкурентные фирмы предлагают. Вот, соответственно, остаточный спрос, вот этот residual demand, это разница между всем спросом и тем, сколько предлагают фирмы. Соответственно, мы из всего спроса вычитаем, сколько предлагают фирмы. Вот у нас там что-то получилось. Да, и это верно только для цен от 1/3. Да? Вот. И почему до вот этой цены? Зачем мы вот это считали? Потому что остаточный спрос, он должен быть не отрицательным. Мы не можем предъявлять спрос на минус 1 кексик, правильно? Ну, то есть вот это выражение, должно быть больше либо равно 0. Значит, ну, что такое остаточный спрос? Ну, это в любом случае спрос покупателей, да, то есть, а они при очень высоких ценах не будут ничего спрашивать у нас на рынке, правильно? Понятно?
Да, спасибо.
Okay, let's continue. Next, point B. In point B, we should compute the market price as a function of n. So we need to find price in the market as a function of n. So who charge the price? Monopoly. Yes, so we need to write a profit maximization program of monopoly. Profit of monopolist will be equal to. And we will write down it as a function of price, because we have residual demand as a function of price, and we will work with it. So this will be price, yes, multiplied by residual demand. Yes, or for example, let's suppose that we work with a yellow part, with prices belongs from 1/3 to 3 plus n over 3 n plus 1. And then we will check it. Here, suppose. So price multiplied by this residual demand, minus costs. Costs of monopoly Q over 6 from the task. So this will be our residual demand in units, yes, over 6. So this will be price minus 1/6 multiplied by residual demand. And residual demand for such prices will be 1 plus n over 3 minus n plus 1 multiplied by price. And this we should maximize by choosing price greater or equal than 0. Yes. So first order condition. Let's find first derivative. Easy. Here we have also a quadratic function with graph parabola branches down. So we will find maximum. And here variable is price. Yes. So we take derivative by price. And this will be 1 plus n over 3 minus 2 multiplied by n plus 1 multiplied by price, and plus n plus 1 over 6, like this. Yes. And this should be equal to 0 if we work with our positive prices. And also we need to check our condition then, our condition for prices. So, okay. From here, we can find the price. From here. So let's do it super fast. I will write down it for you. So from here, we find that price equals to 1 plus 1 over 6 plus 3n over 6 over 2, 1 plus n. So we found the price for monopoly, but we need to check this one. So this price should be greater or equal than 1/3. Yes, because for lower prices, we work with the other part of residual demand. And let's check it. Okay, and we'll do it. Yes, 7/6 or 3n/6 should be greater or equal than 2 plus 2n over 3. Yes, 6 plus 3/6. So 7 plus 3n greater or equal than 4 plus 4n, then 3 greater or equal than n. So this is our condition. So the number of competitive firms in the market should be less or equal than 3. So from here we write that this is true. This price will be charged by monopoly only if number of firms less or equal than 3. Then also we need to check that this price is less or equal than the biggest price, 3 plus n over 3 n plus 1. But let me say that if we will count it, we will find from here that number of firms should be greater or equal than -5, and it's okay. Yes, because we have positive amount of non-negative amount of competitive firms in the market. So only this condition we need. Then what we will do, what if price less than 1/3? What if price less than 1/3? We work with other part of residual demand. Other part of the residual demand, it is 1 minus price. Yes. So let's count profit of monopolist. Profit of monopolist for such demand will be 1 minus price multiplied by price minus 1/6. And this we should maximize by choosing quantity or sorry, price greater or equal than 0. So first order condition will give us 1 minus 2 prices and plus 1/6. And let's see. This is 7/6 minus 2 price. And we need to check that here equals to 0. Yes. We need to check that what will be with our derivative if price is less than 1/3. If price is less than 1/3, this derivative is positive, negative, or it can be equal to 0. Please, let's see. Guys. So, okay, this derivative is bigger than 0 for each price less than 1/3. You can check it. Yes. Put here 1/3. Put here the highest price. 1/3. This will be 7/6 minus 2/3. This is 4/6. So it is positive. For put here, for example, price equals to 0. 7/6. It's positive. So what conclusion we make? That means that our profit increases while price increases. So our optimal price will be 1/3, the highest price in this interval. For prices less than 1/3. So now, okay, here SOC, okay, shut down also. We will not check it right now because we do not have time, but in your homeworks, you need to check the second order condition and shut down everywhere. Then, now we're ready to write down price of monopolist as a function of number of firms, competitive firms in the market. And this will be 1 plus 1 over 6 plus 3n over 6 over 1 plus n. This is true for number of competitive firms in the market less or equal than 3. And what if number of firms bigger than 3? What price we will charge, please, guys? What price we will charge if number of firms are bigger than 3?
Zero.
No, it's not optimal to charge price equals to 0 because we will not have profit. Yes, we will not have revenue in a way with such price. We checked it. We checked it. This one. Yes, price will be equal to 1/3. Because we have two situations. We have two situations where when we work. Yes, we have situation with first part of residual demand and second part of residual demand. Yes. So if let's see, first part of residual demand, this one, blue, blue one, this one. This is the residual demand for low prices, and there are no competitive firms in the market right now. Yes, you see there is no supply of competitive firms. So monopoly charges without competitive firms. The best price is 1/3. Yes, without competitive firms. Yes, but because not without in the market, but they do not supply. They do not supply these competitive firms. And when competitive firms supplies, we will have such residual demand, and we charge this price. So here will be price 1/3 when competitive firms do not supply in the market. Okay. Next, let's move on. Please ask in Russian. I can repeat something in Russian.
Можно повторить алгоритм еще раз? Всего пункта.
Давайте, хорошо. Смотрите, значит, что у нас тут сказано? Это у нас пункт Б. Да, мы нашли остаточный спрос, да, и нас спрашивают, какая цена установится на рынке, да, в зависимости от количества конкурентных фирм на рынке. Вот. И мы понимаем, да, то, что кто у нас ценоназначатель? Монополист. Монополист, но он работает с остаточным спросом, да, потому что часть спроса забирают эти конкурентные фирмы, которые тоже присутствуют на рынке. Правильно? Вот, соответственно, мы записываем прибыль монополиста, вот, но остаточный спрос, он может быть разным. Да, может быть, когда все покупатели, да, приходят к нашему монополисту, а может быть, когда часть покупателей забирают конкурентные фирмы. Да, вот. И мы эти две ситуации рассматриваем. Первая ситуация, когда все-таки часть спроса забирается конкурентными фирмами, мы решаем стандартную задачу максимизации, находим, какую цену установит монополист, да, в зависимости от того, сколько этих конкурентных фирм ему там мешаются. Вот. Соответственно, и мы проверяем, да, мы проверили ограничения, да, при каких ценах у нас, в принципе, предлагают, да, конкурентные фирмы, и получили, что у нас такую цену монополист установит, только если конкурентных фирм не больше 3 на рынке. Не больше 3 на рынке. Это проверили. Вот. Затем нужно проверить второй участок. Второй участок у нас с вами, когда конкурентные фирмы, они как бы присутствуют, но ничего не предлагают, потому что для них очень низкие цены, да, чтобы предлагать что-то. Ну, им просто невыгодно. Вот, соответственно, монополист, да, получает полную рыночную власть, да, максимизирует свою прибыль, и мы понимаем, что поскольку у нас есть ограничение на цены, да, то есть для таких цен, для низких цен, монополисту будет выгодно установить цену, равную границе, да, то есть самую большую цену. Да, то есть парабола не достигает своего максимума, да, она там обрубается, да, потому что у нас есть ограничения по цене. Вот, соответственно, если цены низкие, да, то монополист установит цену 1/3. И мы записываем, какую равновесную цену установит монополист, если у нас с вами, в зависимости от количества конкурентных фирм на рынке. Да, первый участок понятно, да, мы его посчитали, если количество фирм не больше 3. Но в противном случае, если количество конкурентных фирм больше 3, они там друг другу мешаются, да, соответственно, цена снижается, и им невыгодно вообще ничего предлагать на рынок. Да, соответственно, у нас монополист становится действительно монополистом на рынке, он забирает себе весь спрос, и вот его цена, 1/3. Вот. Так, скажите, пожалуйста, как понятно теперь?
Да, понятнее стало, спасибо.
Okay, let's move on. Point C, how many competitive firms will enter if our entry cost approximately 0? How many competitive firms will enter if our entry cost approximately 0? How many number of competitive firms? How to check how many competitive firms will enter? We know that in the long run, without fixed costs, competitive firms enters the market when their profit is positive, and they will not enter the market, they will leave the market when their profit is negative. Yes, and the equilibrium situation when profit of each competitive firm in the long run equals to 0. Yes, so we need to find such number of competitive firms. So let's write down need number of firms such that if we have n firms, profit of each competitive firm minus entry cost greater or equal than 0. But if one more firm will enter, n plus 1 firm will enter, we will have lower profit for each competitive firm because competition grows. Minus entry cost should be less than 0. So this will be stable situation. So nobody wants to enter, nobody wants to leave. Yes, so from here we will find such number of firms. So, okay, let us write down profit of competitive firm if we have n competitive firms in the market. How we can count down it? This is price for n competitive firms, yes, multiplied by quantity supplied of each competitive firm, yes, individual supply as a function of price, minus costs of competitive firm as a function of supply of competitive firm as a function of price. And this will be, okay, supply, we remember, let's check where it is. Supply, this one. Supply of individual supply of each firm. Yes. So this will be price multiplied by price minus 1/3 minus costs of each competitive firm. Let's check where it is. This one, cost of each competitive firm. So here will be price minus 1/3 over 3 plus price minus 1/3 square over 2. And this, if we will count it, we will find that this profit equals to price minus 1/3 over 2 and this square. So, and now how we will understand how many firms we need. We need to check what will be the profit, of each competitive firm for different number of competitive firms. Let's start. So let's start. If number of firms equals to 0, so price in the market, we counted it, will be 1 plus 1/6 plus 3 multiplied by 0/6 over 2 multiplied by 1 plus 0. Yes, from this one. And this is 7/12. So profit of each competitive firm, if we have 0 competitive firms, is 7/12 minus 1/3 square over 2. And this, we see that it is positive. It is positive. It is 3 square over 12 square multiplied by 2, bigger than 0. So competitive firms have incentives to enter. So they continue to enter. So, okay, first firm enters n equals to 1. What will be with price? With price for number of firms equals to 1. Put this price here, will be 1 plus 1/6 plus 3 multiplied by 1/6 over 2, 1 plus 1. And this is 5/12. You see, competition grows, price decreases. Instead of 7/12, now it is 5/12. Okay, what will be with profit if we have one competitive firm in the market? 5/12 minus 1/3, it is 4/12 square over 2. And it is also positive. It is also positive. Yes. Then, if number of firms equals to 2, price for 2 competitive firms in the market, if we have 2 competitive firms in the market, will be 1 plus 2/3 plus 3/6 is 13/36. And profit of each competitive firm, if we have 2 competitive firms in the market, is 13/36 minus 18/36 square over 2. It is also positive. So firms continue to enter. What will be if number of firms equals to 3? Let's see what we have, what information we have about price that monopoly charges for number of firms equals to 3. You see that the behavior of price changes. Yes, if number of firms now bigger or equal, okay, or equal to 3. Yes. Now price, if we have 3 firms, equals to 1/3. And if price equals to 1/3, profit of each competitive firm equals to 1/3 minus 1/3 square over 2, 0. If we have 4 or 5 and next, price will be stable. Monopoly price will be equal to 1/3. And profit of competitive firm for 4 will be equal to, for 5 competitive firms will be equal to 0. Yes? So when our firms stop to enter, they stop to enter when we have 2 competitive firms. Yes? So only 2 competitive firms enter the market. Why? Because you can say we have 0 profit, so they can enter. 0 profit, it is also okay, but we had this entry costs fee. Yes, for entering, you need to pay this entry cost. So this is this profit zero is approximately zero. Yes, because you need to pay also minus fee, which is approximately zero. Yes, so here also minus fee, which is approximately zero. So it will be a little bit less than zero. Yes. So, guys, please questions about this. I can repeat in Russian the idea. Do you need it? Okay.
This is the number when firm more than 2 is not good.
This is the number of firms, of competitive firms that will enter the market, and the third firm will not enter the market. Why? Because if the third firm will enter, the profit of each firm and this third firm will be approximately zero, but you can write a little bit less than zero because it needs to pay this entry cost fee. Okay? And the third firm will not enter the market.
Okay.
А можно, пожалуйста, еще раз на русском просто идею?
Да, хорошо. Смотрите, значит, что у нас тут? Нам говорят, что у конкурентных фирм есть издержки на вход, да, то есть им нужно заплатить, да, ну, видите, это примерно 0, да, ну, там, чуть-чуть, ну, наверное, чуть больше, да, там надо чуть-чуть заплатить, чтобы войти на рынок. И нас спрашивают, сколько фирм, да, конкурентных войдет на рынок. Вот. Как нам определить вот эту стабильную ситуацию, да, в чем идея? Да, фирмы, да, совершенно конкурентные, они будут заходить на рынок, их число будет увеличиваться, пока их прибыль положительная, потому что они видят, что, ага, прибыль положительная, мы хотим зайти на рынок. Вот. И в какой момент они остановятся, да, в какой момент они перестанут заходить, когда прибыль станет уже отрицательной. Почему прибыль может стать отрицательной? Потому что чем больше фирм заходит, тем выше конкуренция, тем ниже цена. Ну, когда чем выше конкуренция, тем ниже цена, это мы с вами знаем. Да? Ну, значит, а если ниже цена, соответственно, ниже прибыль. Да? Больше конкурентов, то прибыль снижается. Вот. Да, и нам нужно найти такую ситуацию стабильную, да, такую, что при количестве фирм N, да, прибыль всех фирм, да, вот этих конкурентных, каждый из них еще пока положительная, ну, не отрицательная, да, а вот когда N плюс первая заходит, да, прибыль каждой фирмочки становится отрицательной. Что это означает? Что вот эта N плюс первая фирма не хочет зайти на рынок, а N фирм не хотят выйти с рынка. Вот мы такую стабильную ситуацию ищем. Ну, начинаем. Да, мы должны записать прибыль нашей конкурентной фирмочки, если у нас N фирм этих конкурентных на рынке. Ну, вот мы там посчитали, да, вот вывели вот такую зависимость, да, от цены на рынке, которую устанавливает монополист. Вот. И теперь мы просто под подстановкой, да, работаем. Когда у нас нет конкурентных фирм, какой монополист установит цены? Да, мы считали, да, эту оптимальную цену монополиста в зависимости от количества фирм. Правильно? Вот, да, было. Ну, вот это. Да, в общем. И туда мы просто каждое N подставляем. Вот. Если нет конкурентных фирм, вот цена такая-то, да, вот прибыль каждой фирмы такая-то, этой конкурентной фирмы. Она положительная, значит, они продолжают заходить. То есть, ну, в данном случае начинают заходить на рынок. Так, хорошо, первая зашла. Цена чуть-чуть, видите, уменьшилась. Была 7/12, стала 5/12. Но считаем прибыль, да, прибыль пока еще положительная. Продолжают заходить. Так, зашла еще одна, да, 2 стало фирмы. Цена еще снизилась, да, прибыль пока положительная. Вот, ну там посчитали, да, поняли, то, что еще пока положительная. Но когда заходит третья фирма, цена уже становится равной 1/3. Цена уже становится равной 1/3. Вот. И далее, когда там 4-я, 5-я фирмы и так далее, у нас цена уже так и остается 1/3. Почему? Ну, потому что мы это вывели, да, в нашем правиле, по которому монополист устанавливает цену. Вот. И, соответственно, прибыль, да, конкурентной фирмы, если цена на рынке 1/3, прибыль будет равна 0. Но Можно сказать, да, ну и что, ну ладно, 0, они тоже могут заходить, если прибыль 0. А мы говорим, но у них есть небольшие издержки на вход, они примерно 0, не равны строго нулю, да, поэтому у них прибыль, да, она будет чуть меньше нуля, и вот этим вот уже 3, 4, 5 им невыгодно заходить на рынок, потому что уже чуть меньше нуля прибыль становится. Вот, соответственно, вот мы нашли стабильную ситуацию. Да, когда в итоге только 2 фирмы зайдут на рынок. То, что нас спрашивали, конкурентные фирмы. Так, скажите, пожалуйста, кто спрашивал, получше стало?
Да, спасибо.
Okay, let's continue. So point D. In point D, what we need to find. What is the socially optimal number of competitive firms if we have small entry fee costs? Socially optimal. Number of competitive firms. If we have this entry fee cost approximately 0. What do we mean if we speak about socially optimal? That means that we should have the highest we need to find such a number of firms that we will have the highest social welfare. What is social welfare? Social welfare highest. Social welfare is the sum of surpluses of all economic agents that are present in the market. So this will be consumer surplus plus producer surplus consists of profits of monopolists and all competitive firms. So plus profit of monopolist plus all profits of competitive firms. Okay, let's write like this. We have the same profit for each competitive firm. So this is number of competitive firms multiplied by the profit of competitive firm. So ребята, извините, тут интернет вылетел. Решение. Okay. So what we'll have? Where will be consumer surplus? You know that this is the part, yes, which is under the demand function and above the price. Why is it so? Because, for example, first unit, we were willing to pay for it this price, but we pay for it this price. So we're happy that we have this difference, and we can say the same about each unit that we bought. So this will be consumer surplus. Yes, consumer surplus. So the formula for consumer surplus in our task will be the area of this triangle. This is 1 minus price multiplied by quantity over 2. Yes, but this quantity is the demand. So this will be 1 minus price over 1 minus price in power of 2 over 2. Because the demand is the same, 1 minus price. So this is the consumer surplus. Profit we counted. Yes, profit we count. Profit of monopolist. Okay, we can count it anyway. Profit of monopolist as a function of profit of monopolist as a function of price. So where it's one. Profit of monopolist. Here, this one. So it will be price minus 1 over 6 multiplied by 1 plus n over 3. Here it is. Let's see. Oh, and this is price minus 1 over 6 multiplied by 1 plus n over 3 minus n plus 1 multiplied by price for n firms. And if we put this price for n firms and on the right all these, we will find that this is 1 plus n multiplied by 3 plus n over 3 and 1 plus n minus 1 over 6 square over 4. So this will be the price or the profit of monopolist as a function of this price. Total competitive firms net profit. So this is n multiplied by the profit of competitive firm, function of price. So this will be n multiplied by the profit of competitive firm, as that depends on the supply of competitive firm price, minus entry fee. And this is approximately, because we have this entry fee, put everything, this will be n multiplied by 1 over 2, n minus 1/3 square. Whenever our entry fee approximately 0. So, okay, we have all equations we have all equations. Yes, so for consumer surplus, this one, for profit of monopolist, and for all the sum of profit of competitive firms. We know the prices for each number of firms from the previous point. You see, we found all these prices. Yes, and now we need what we need to do for each number of firms. We need to count consumer surplus, profit of monopolist, this n multiplied by PC. We need to sum up them and found that this is social welfare. So we need to count. But let's do it, for example, for the first. So if we do not have a number of firms, this will be 1 over 2, 5 over 12 square plus 1 multiplied by 5 over 6 square multiplied by 1 over 4 plus no competitive firms, so no profit, plus 0. And this is social welfare. We need to sum up them. And we will do the same for n equals to 1, n equals to 2, n equals to 3. So we will do all this. Okay, let's count for n equals to 3. This is 1/2, 2/3 squared plus 4/9 multiplied by 1/4. And if a number of firms, competitive firms equals to 3, we do not have competitive, each competitive firm does not supply, so no profit, profit 0. This will be like this. So if you will count all these social welfares and compare, you will find that sum of surpluses of all economic agents, so social welfare, is maximized when number of firms equals to 3. And it's interesting because when we have three competitive firms, what that means? That means that each of these firms, they does not supply, so they are present in the market, but they do not supply anything, and only monopoly works. Only monopoly works with consumers. So, but social welfare is maximized. Yes, it's interesting because we always say that monopoly is bad because we have deadweight losses, but in such situation when we have end competitive firms and monopoly, social welfare is maximized. The lowest deadweight losses will be when competitive firms does not supply and only monopoly works. That's super cool, super cool. They are, but competitive firms, they should be present in the market. Okay, this was problem 1. Guys, please, any questions about problem 1? We need to move on. Okay, problem 2. Problem 2 is a small new idea about vertical relations. What we have in problem 2. Suppose that apples are produced by many competitive identical firms with an inverse market supply function for Q. So, okay, let's write down. Inverse supply function is for Q. These are competitive firms. One big supermarket can buy all these apples produced and sell them to consumers with an inverse market demand function. So these farmers, they sell apples to a supermarket, and then supermarket sells apples to consumers. Here, consumers. With the market demand 1 minus 3Q. So we have such vertical relation, yes? And we need to calculate the price which supermarket will pay to the apple producers and the price which consumers will pay. So we need to find in point A what will be the price for consumers and what will be the price for apples for these apples. So let's look at our stages. Supermarket buys apples from farmers. So in this stage, we have only one buyer supermarket, and many sellers. And this situation we call monopsony. Yes, monopsony. So our monopsonist supermarket controls the supply. In the second stage, only one supermarket sells to many consumers. And this stage we call monopoly. One seller and many buyers, monopoly. And monopoly controls the demand. Yes, controls the demand. So now we use this information and write down. So supermarket controls everything, the supply of apples and the demand of apples. That's why to find these prices that our supermarket will charge, we need to write down its profit of supermarket. This is the demand multiplied by quantity. This is total revenue. Yes, minus total costs. And total costs will be how much we will pay for all apples to farmers. So here will be the supply, inverse supply function. Yes, because our supermarket controls the supply of farmers, multiplied by quantity. And this we should maximize this total cost by choosing quantity greater or equal than 0. So good. Put everything. Profit of supermarket is 1 minus 3q multiplied by q, yes, minus r supply 4q multiplied by q, so here square. This we should maximize by choosing 1 to greater or equal than 0. So this quadratic function, graph parabola branches down, so we will find maximum, or we can take first derivative. This will be 1 minus 6q minus 8q equals to 0. From here we will find how many apples supermarket will buy from farmers and then sell to consumers. It is 1/14. And then we need to find all prices. But first of all, let's check second order condition. It is -6 minus 8 less than 0, so we found maximum. Okay. Then price for consumers. Price for consumers is put this quantity that monopolist will sell into maximum willingness to pay of our consumers. So they put into the demand function. So this will be 1 minus 3/14, or it will be 11/14. What about price that our supermarket will charge for farmers? Our supermarket wants to pay the lowest price for which farmers are ready to sell their product. So it is the definition of inverse supply function. So put this quantity into inverse supply function. So this will be 4/14. Yes. Oh, okay. This was the first point. Guys, please, questions about this point? Should I repeat? Okay, good. Point B. In point B, suppose that the supermarket can acquire all the apple farmers and produce apples at cost 2q square. So now what we have? We have only supermarket and farmers belongs to him. Supermarket with cost function 2q square. And we see if we will take the derivative, so marginal cost will be equal to 4q. And this is the same inverse supply as before, as for farmers. For farmers, inverse supply. So good. Same supply curve. Of farmers. But now supermarket only sells to consumers. Consumers with demand 1 minus 3q. What has changed? Let's see. Profit now will be, we control the demand and we own our farmers. So we have this technology, these costs. This we will maximize by choosing quantity greater or equal than 0. So good, marginal revenue. Okay, let's write down profit. 1 minus 3q multiplied by q minus 2q squared. So first order condition, 1 minus 6q minus 4q equals to 0. From here, we will find that optimal quantity that we will sell is 1 over 10. 1 over 10. And let's compare. 1 over 10 is bigger. Yes, 1 over 10 is bigger than before, than 1 over 14. So now we sell more. Yes, if we own the farmers. So, and the price in the market will be 1 minus 3 over 10. This is 7 over 10. And it is less than before, than 11 over 14 for consumers. So we see that our monopolist right now, this supermarket, if supermarket owns the farmers, yes, it sells more, and our price now is lower. So what conclusion we will make? That consumers are better off. They buy more for lower prices. Consumers are better off. Why is it so? It is so because we do not have this stage. When where our supermarket has also power. So we see that in the first vertical situation we have 2 stages. So 2 market powers of a supermarket. Yes. So in this stage and in this stage, and now our supermarket have only influence on consumers. Yes, so our supermarket uses its market power only on one stage, and you know that the lower the market power, the lower the price. Yes, and anyway, consumers are better off. Yes. Okay, let's write down something like this. As now, no market power, at the wholesale stage. Wholesale sale — это оптовая ступень, когда оптовые поставки сначала. The wholesale stage. So this is the end of the second task. Guys, please ask about the second task of our class. Guys, you're with me? How are you?
Yeah.
Okay. So let's continue. Number 3. Number 3 is about a monopolist with a lot of consumers, and all consumers are different, and we need to compare a situation of uniform pricing and third-degree price discrimination. So let's read. Consider a market with n consumers, from I equals to 1 to n, and one large firm, monopoly, large firm. Okay, about this. Consumer I has a demand function like this. So the demand function of our consumer I is AI 1 minus price, where this constant A is different for each consumer. The firm has a cost function C multiplied by Q. With constant marginal cost, C less than 1. Point A. Find the profit maximizing uniform price and set of quantities which will be purchased. So here we have uniform pricing, no price discrimination, only one price for each consumer, uniform pricing. How to find uniform price? Price if it is the same for all consumers with different demands. So we need to work with market demand. Yes. How to find market demand? We need to sum up the demands of each consumer. Yes. So market demand will be the sum from I equals to 1 to n, the individual demand each consumer. Let's name this A without index. Yes, this is the sum of A's. So this will be A multiplied by 1 minus price. So from here we will find inverse demand function. This will be 1 minus A. 1 minus Q divided by A. Yes. So what is the profit of monopolist, of our firm? Inverse demand is always, yes, multiplied by quantity minus costs out of quantity. And this put everything. 1 minus Q over A multiplied by Q minus C multiplied by Q. This will maximize by choosing quantity greater or equal than 0. First order condition. First derivative. 1 minus 2Q over A minus C should be equals to 0. So from here, monopoly will sell to all consumers A 1 minus C over 2. Now check second order condition, minus 2 over A less than 0, okay. Yes. So maximum and shut down also okay. Because we have marginal costs equals to average variable cost equals to C, so it is always greater or equal than average variable cost. Price. So no, I don't like this explanation without this. Okay, because our price always bigger than average variable cost equals to marginal cost equals to C, because we have cost profit always here. Let's find this equilibrium price. Equilibrium price put into inverse demand. This will be 1 minus A, 1 minus C over 2A. Delete A's, and this will be equal to 2 minus 1 plus C over 2. 1 plus C over 2. So this is monopoly price. Monopoly price. So our answers, this is how much monopoly will sell. This is the price that monopolist will charge. Then in point B, we need to talk about third degree price discrimination. Okay. Third degree price discrimination. what that means? That means that if we have opportunity to use this third degree price discrimination, that means that we can understand which consumer is for which consumer we sell. We know the demands of each consumer, and we understand that this consumer has such demand. So we can verify the type of consumer. So good. And that means that we can charge different prices for each consumer. So we will charge different prices for each consumer, for 1 to n. You need to find all these prices. How to find it? We need, anyway, we maximize the sum of profits from selling to each consumer. So this will be the sum of profits from selling to each consumer, 1 minus QI over AI. This is inverse demand multiplied by QI minus CQI. This is the inverse demand of consumer I. And this we will maximize by choosing quantities that we will sell to each consumer. So we have n variables. Yes, but we see that that profits, they are independent to each other. Yes, because we have such costs. They are independent to each other. So first, the condition easy. It will be the same for each consumer. Should be equal to 0 for entire solution. For QI greater than 0. And it is the same. It is the same. So QI is AI 1 minus C over 2, and the price for each consumer the same as in point A, because you see same profit, same profit. I'll show this one. Yes, same profit. So same answers, but here with index. Yes. So the price will be 1 plus C over 2 for each consumer. It is the most profitable for us to charge the same price because we have such demands of each consumer and such cost structure. So optimal quantity that we will sell to all consumers. I'll count. This will be the sum of A's 1 minus C over 2. So we will sell the same amount. So what conclusion we make? We make the conclusion that when we had opportunity to charge only a uniform price, and when we have the opportunity to charge different prices, to use the third degree price discrimination, we have the same price in the market and the same quantity we sell. So everybody are indifferent, uniform price or third degree price discrimination, because with such demands and such cost structure, we have the same equilibriums. So consumers are indifferent. As quantity that they will buy equals to QI for each I, and same price, plus same price. And our firm is also indifferent. Our firm is also indifferent because same price, same quantity it sells. Yes, same profit. So the society is also indifferent. The society in total, the social welfare will be the same. So, such task. Guys, please ask what I need to repeat. Please. Okay. So, okay, today we worked with monopoly plus perfect competition at the same market. Yes, it was the first problem, the hardest one. Then we considered vertical stages when we have both monopsony and monopoly, and what will be if one stage will be merged with a supermarket. Yes, and then we considered uniform pricing by vs third-degree price discrimination. But this conclusion about third-degree price discrimination is because of the structure of demands and because of the structure of costs. With other demands, other costs, third-degree price discrimination is almost better, or in a lot of situations better than uniform pricing. Okay, from my side, that's all for today. You know that I will post the video recording in our Telegram channel tomorrow, and the solution of this class I will post also tomorrow in our Telegram channel after 3 p.m. Yes. So, okay, guys, any questions about the class? Talk to me. No?
Здравствуйте, можно вопрос немного не по занятию, не по поводу занятия?
Давайте.
Вы могли бы порекомендовать какую-нибудь литературу, которую можно почитать для улучшения понимания микроэкономики в общем?
Ну, у вас есть учебник, который вам Илья рекомендует. Да, он разные темы. Я не знаю, какой он у вас там в учебном плане учебник написан, Пендаек, нет? Вот. Ну, там у вас же прям прописано, да, какие темы, по каким главам учебника. Мне кажется, что этого достаточно. Зачем еще что-то читать, если вам, ну, если сначала нужно прочитать то, что... ну вон, да. Вон variant и C&P. Это что такое C&P? Вон Карлтон и Джеффри Перлов, Modern Industrial Organization. Вот два учебника, они, кажется, что аж целых два, этого достаточно, чтобы готовиться к занятиям и так далее. Вот,
Хорошо, спасибо.
Нет, ну на самом деле вы же видите, да, вот я зашла в этот Google Диск, и там написано Topics 2021, и там прям учебник, и к каждой теме какая глава из каждого учебника, какую надо читать. Читайте, ничего нет. Уверен, кажется, есть даже переведенный на русский. Ну, я не уверена, но, кажется, есть. Вот, ну, советую на английском читать, потому что у нас все равно курс английский, надо к терминам все равно привыкать. Вы одну главу прочитаете на английском, вам потом, ну, вы привыкнете. То есть это первый раз сложно, а потом вообще, ну, то есть не замечаешь, что на английском читаешь. Вот, в общем, такие дела. Так, еще вопросы, ребята? Ну ладно. Ну ладно, хорошо. Тогда всем спасибо. До свидания. Да, до свидания. До следующего.
До свидания.
Спасибо, до свидания.